Morning everybody, welcome back to another CYT-Crypto episode. My name is Stephen Aitchison and today we'll be going over the markets, looking at what's happening in the markets. We'll be doing some Bitcoin analysis and technical analysis for that, and then we'll look at the news and then we can do some altcoin technical analysis. So if you want me to look at any of your favorite altcoins, let me know in the chat area and I'll do some technical analysis on that. It's just simple technical analysis that you can learn within a space of an hour or something. And I'll show you kind of exactly what I'm doing here. We're not going in depth into it, but we'll look at it and you'll be able to see how kind of I trade and how I teach trading as well. So if you want me to do that, just kind of leave a comment and let me know your kind of favorite altcoin that we want me to do some technical analysis on. Okay, so yesterday I was at the dentist and I was getting root canal treatment. And it wasn't bad at all. I always expect root canal treatment to be really sore. It wasn't at all, and it only took about, I don't know, 45, well, no, from waiting time and all that and having to travel there, it was about 3-4 hours. But it was good. It was a good journey to get to the dentist. But root canal's done, and hopefully the toothache is going to be away now. Hopefully we need to wait and see for the next couple of days. But that was where I was yesterday. So just in case anybody missed me. Right, I'll just see if anybody's in. Just now, just make sure we're live and then we can take it from there. Okay, we are live and all looks okay. So I'm just going to dive over to the chat area. And we have Chris Camus in the house, Mervyn Skidmore is in the house, welcome to you. Stephen King is in, Mac Paulin is in, Gordy Boy is back with us as well. G-Slick is with us, Ben Polgardy, sorry. Mervyn Skidmore, root canal, more fun than a tax audit. Just slightly, yeah. Yes, I think it's the thought of root canal. I think root canal treatment in the past was really bad and it was really painful, really sore. But not now, it's totally different now. So I would recommend anybody go for root canal treatment. I think it's good. Give me a second, just wipe my glasses. Right, okay, we'll dive into the markets. Just now, see what the hell's going on. We are down, obviously. Kind of big time. We're down to 228 billion. We've lost about 12 billion over the last couple of days on the overall market. That's because Bitcoin is going down. Still holding that 8,300. We need to hold 8,300. But if it doesn't, we're back into a zone, and I'll share that with you later on, exactly what I'm talking about. And we'll see who the winners and losers are in the top 100. Centrality, Nervos, Bitcoin, and Engine Coin all up in double-digit greens. Which looks good just now when you see the first four, but then you kind of go down and just see, okay, there's only about 12% in the green in USD value. And Satoshi value will be totally different. Yeah, not a big difference. There is a big difference, about 50%. Yeah, I'd say 40% in the green in Satoshi value, but about 12% in dollar value in the green. Who's the biggest losers in USD value? We've got Komodo down 15%, Bitcoin SV down 10%, Ethereum Classic down, Bitcoin Cash, Stellar down, Bitcoin Diamond, all the kind of Bitcoin derivatives, all the hard forks from that. Zcoin, Zcash down as well. So the big players are down at the moment. It looks as if it's going to be a down time. There's a lot of kind of things happening. Just now, obviously, and we'll look at that a wee bit later on in the news as well. Okay, who's the biggest gainers and losers across the board? We'll just refresh this and see what's going on. Okay, Prometheus is up 129%, 1.5 million volume. Haven't heard of that. PUNDIXX coin is up 60%. Polybius is up 59%. We have DENT coin up 56%. Content Value Network is up 49%, QuickX Protocol 40%, and Bitnautic 34%, Unibright, Centrality we've seen, and Bitball and Insure as well up over 30%. Over the last 7 days, who do we have? Polybius 261%, Prometheus 178%, Content Value 144%, Uquid-Coin 141%, Blocknet 120%, and Surety is up 100% as well. So there's a few there. They've gone up 100% over the last couple of days. Excuse me. I need to stop eating cheese before I come on. I usually have a kind of about 100 grams of cheese, 50 grams of cheese and then 50 grams after. It's just to get the fat content up. Right, we'll look at crypto bubbles, see what's going on over there. So over the last 24 hours, you can see we're kind of 50-50 on the green and the red. Nervos network we can see is up 18% on the day. We've got Engine Coin moving up as well. They partnered with Icon, I believe. Lisk is starting to move up again. That's one of the older ones, and that's starting to move up. And that's in Satoshi value. Look at USD value, it looks slightly different. We're in the red in USD value. That's because the Bitcoin price has gone down in dollar value, so you're going to see the altcoin dollar value going down as well. But we've just seen in Satoshi value it makes a wee bit of a difference. Okay, we'll go to the next, the last hour, see how it's going forward. It's looking a wee bit better. You've got Energy and Stratus down 5.5 and 7.7 respectively, so not that much, but predominantly in the green in dollar value, so which means the Bitcoin price is stabilizing or going up a wee bit just now. Excuse me. And Satoshi value, yeah, around about the same. So we're kind of stable and moving up for the Bitcoin price at the moment. We're coming up for the weekend though. What's going to happen over the weekend, who knows? Fear index would indicate that a lot of people are fearful that the Bitcoin price is going to come down, as with as is kind of the other ones, Ethereum, XRP, etc. But mainly Bitcoin. So we're now into the fear territory just now, which is, for me, that's a kind of good thing. If it gets down to 10, 15 or something, that would be a good time to buy, but it would also mean that the Bitcoin prices fell by quite a bit. So this is kind of really what it correlates to. When the Bitcoin price falls, we go down to the kind of fearful stage, and when we get really low in the fearful stage, then that's the time to look at, go into the market and just say, okay, time to buy now, or look at it just to see if there's any indicators that is indicating it's the time to buy. Okay, we'll go to sentiment, daily sentiment. We've got Bitcoin daily sentiment. I'm just going to refresh this actually. Let's see if it's changed. I don't think it's dynamic. Yeah, it has changed. So Bitcoin 39.21, Ethereum kind of middle of the road, Litecoin is down 30.57, XRP middle of the road as well. Binance Coin is up 54.76, $16.59 at the moment. Stellar 43.12. Look at individual coins. See if there's any that are really standing out. Engine Coin, obviously, that's up already, up today 11.6%. Good trading volume, and daily sentiment is high as well. Nexus, and that could be a good one to look at if you consider sentiment a good indicator to rely on. Market cap is only 10 million. Relative trading volume is not that high. Got a daily sentiment of 80.04. AION is up 5% already. Let's see what's relative trading volume. Reported volume 500,000 for Inocoin. Never heard of it, but the relative trading volume is extremely high, so I'm inclined not to believe that. So I don't know too much about that at all, maybe doing it a disservice. Waves is up 65, but down 0.62%. Could be a good one to look at as well. We'll dive back in, see if anybody else has joined us. Martin Gakir has joined us. Mervyn Skidmore dropped to 7,700 before parabolic bull run. Thoughts? If it's going to drop to 7,700, if it drops below 8,000, I think that's a key trigger point for Bitcoin. But we'll look at the Bitcoin chart in a sec. Martin Gakir, I missed your video. Yesterday's video, yeah, I wasn't here yesterday. Unfortunately, I was at the dentist getting root canal treatment. Kundalini double two good buying opportunities. I don't know at the moment. At the moment, it'd be a case of just kind of wait and see what's going to happen. I think it might come down a wee bit over the weekend, but we'll have a look at it. Paul Van Gossman is in the house. Welcome to you. Paul Van Gossman, Icon partnered with Chainlink. Oh, that was it. So what happened with Engine Coin? Did Engine Coin not do something with them as well? There's some, I can't remember what the news story was, and I do apologise. RC the Hawthorns is in, good to see you here. Marcus Jafari is in the house. Paul Van Gosman had the like guy. Thank you very much, Paul. Okay, we'll go over to Binance. See what's going on. Peril, I was looking at Peril. I sold Peril at 254 and got into what did I get? COTI. I got into COTI, and I think I'd have been in dollar value wise. I think now that it's gone up to 300. I think it was I would have been better staying in Peril, but it's longer term for COTI. I think that represents a really good opportunity for COTI, and I don't know where they are just now. We'll look at COTI in a second. But who is going up? Hot just is really changing from 7 to 8 Satoshi, so it's just buying and selling. So it's not really gone up 14%. Engine Coin is up 14.26%. I'm going to see what the story was with Engine Coin. Twitter.com. I'll go to Engine. Right. Pin tweet. Gamers retweeted. E-gamers. So much collaboration. Nope. What's a news story with Engine Coin? I've seen a news story anyway. I must have kind of misread that altogether. So yeah, Engine Coin is up. Request Network is going up as well. 145. Satoshi up 10%. Not that much. Well, 10% is a good amount. Lisk is moving up. Sky, Go, Anchor, AI on, PUNDIXX, Pool moving up as well. RLC is still like RLC to move up as well. I'm liking the looks of RLC again, and I've mentioned that last week as well, just before it crossed over around about the 5,700 Satoshi range. I still think we're going to see a bigger move. I'm going to go to the daily because I still think we're going to see a bigger move to 10,000. Yeah. Yeah, I think within the next couple of months we're going up to 10,000 at least for RLC. I really like the look of that. Okay, we'll dive over to KuCoin. See what's going on with KuCoin. I was looking at volume earlier on, so we'll just go over to the market. KuCoin's up and coming out again. It seems to go through phases, KuCoin, but because they have good taste when they're picking altcoins, and they pick up and coming altcoins, and I think that's why they're so good. And I think it could be a good opportunity to look at the KCS token again. So DBC, we'll tap before that's up and coming. It's the only thing about it is I don't like the fact that they don't kind of name the coin. Deep Brain Chain, yeah. I don't want to say that without saying 3.4 million. I'll just go over here and put that there so we know. Unless I miss it somewhere, and it does say it. So DBC, where does it say Deep Brain Chain? I don't think it does anywhere, which I don't understand. So Deep Brain Chain is up 26%. We've got NIX up 19%. Look in the volume. Deep Brain Chain, not that much. Engine Coin, HPB is up as well. Where is COTI and DAG? COTI BTC. Down 5%, it's at 119. Just now, that's not that bad. It had a wee run up to about 134. I think about 116, so I'm still up, not as much as I would be if I'd stayed in Peril. DAG down to 123 again, which is a good opportunity. I think it did get up to the 137 level. I think that's it for KuCoin. We just BTC. So VT is up 9% as well, and we've looked at the main KuCoin. Yeah, so not that much happening just now. I think everybody's just waiting on to see what happens with Bitcoin. So having said that, we'll look at Bitcoin just now. You can see here on the Bitcoin chart, There's a lot of things going on here, seem to be going on. Okay, first of all, the purple line is a 200 moving average, a simple moving average. That's the purple line. We've obviously been rejected there and it's came right back down. But we'll look at the bigger picture. This, we've got a descending channel. And I've kept this in just now, even though we broke out the descending channel. I've kept it in just now because normally what happens when we break out of that, we then use that as support. It was previously resistance there, the top upper line there, but we then use that as support. And you can see here perfectly that it's been used as support and it's bounced off it twice. It's bouncing off it just now, 8304, but if it breaks through that and back into this descending channel, then that is not a good sign. That's not a good sign at all, and could indicate that we're going lower to 6,000. If we break through into that, I'm not saying it's going to go to 6,000. I'm not trying to panic you or anything, but we have to hold this line first. This is the first line we have to hold. If it doesn't hold that line, then we have to hold the $8,000 kind of range support line. So I'm going to put that in here. I'm going to put in $8,000 round about there. As a psychological support, and we've got a technical analysis support there as well, or a technical support. If it breaks down below that, then we have to hold, the next line we have to hold is this 7,300, round about that level. We have to hold that. If it breaks below the 7,300 or this major support line, this is what I'm saying is a major support line. We've held this for 7 odd years. So if we break below that and stay below that on the daily basis, then I'd be kind of concerned for the Bitcoin price going down to this level here, around about the 5,500 level. I don't think it's going to get to there, but technical indicators, if you're just looking at it from a technical point of view, then it could. It has to hold this line first. So there's a couple of key areas it has to hold. First one is this support line here, round about this level. If it goes much lower, I think today is 8,266, tomorrow 8,235, and so basically 8,200 it has to hold over the weekend for this still to be in play. And this line has to hold the $8,000 line, which perfectly corresponds with the 50 EMA that I was talking about earlier on this week. So normally when it breaks the 7 EMA, you can see it was using the 7 EMA as support. I'm just going to zoom in. So we broke the 7 EMA and it used it as support, bounced off, bounced off, bounced off, bounce, 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 and then it kind of comes down and is kind of used as resistance after that, and then the 50 EMA is used as support. But if it breaks below that, then we're looking at the next support line, which is the major long-term support line, which is at around about the 7,300 range. So if it breaks that, then I'd be concerned, but overall still very bullish for Bitcoin. There's a few things that are kind of happening in the world that are kind of not stopping Bitcoin from going up, but putting a dampener on things. We're not putting a dampener on things, that's the wrong thing to say, but it doesn't look good for kind of Bitcoin short term. So, and that's the thing with kind of Bitcoin price, it is predominantly kind of news based, I'd say, and it can turn on a whim. It really can turn on a whim. It looks really bullish the other day. I was just trying to break through here a couple of days ago. We're talking 19th of January, 5 days ago. It's looking really bullish. It kind of broke through here and then it all came down. Then a couple of news stories, things that are happening in the world that could indicate that we're going to go down from here. However, we're still holding support just now. We're still holding support. Okay, we'll just dive back to the chat area. Chris Camus, SHR and RSR. RSR looks a good one. SHR I was going to check, so I'll do that later on. What are your thoughts on GoChain, Steve? I'll check that out later on. CryptoDread, I'm here. You can place a bet on Bitcoin, get it on Amazon. I believe 6 other bets on this betting website called Bavoda. I believe they pay out in Bitcoin. They've been out for a while. Oh, I haven't heard of that. So you can actually bet on Bitcoin getting onto Amazon. I just think it's a matter of time before it goes onto Amazon. to be honest, and the other bigger sites. I think it'd be quite good. I've seen a statistic that 36% of small business owners in the US are accepting Bitcoin. Don't believe that, to be honest. 36%. I think that's extremely high. But I've seen that quote, I think it was just yesterday or this morning, which is weird. Okay, having said that, we're going to be looking at the news. What's going on in the news just now? This is, I'll just move this over. 3 reasons why the crypto market is crashing today. So Chinese New Year is right around the corner. So from tomorrow, Chinese New Year, which is celebrating a big way. And usually what they're doing, the Chinese New Year celebrates kind of paying off all their debt. So they kind of cash in lots of different stocks and shares and kind of Bitcoin and stuff like that, and pay off all the debt if they've got any debt. And that's one of the big things about the kind of Chinese New Year. Arthur Hayes of BitMEX, the largest volume Bitcoin exchange, has predicted that we will see a large decline in Bitcoin price and trading volume as Chinese New Year celebrations kick off. And this is from the impact of Chinese traders taking a few days away from crypto to celebrate the new year. In the last 24 hours, Bitcoin is already down 2.6%, and we're still 2 days away from the commencement of celebrations. If this year is anything like prior years, his forecast might be spot on. See, that is not necessarily true, because I've got I had another kind of story here. Yeah, there's a story here. If you look, that was Arthur Hayes kind of saying that. Let's move that to there. In contrast, crypto analyst and economist Alex Kruger says he expects the impact of New Year to be minimal, offering an historical look at Bitcoin's price action in the aftermath of the Chinese holiday. So if we look at this chart, it's not a chart, it's just a kind of stats. If we look at this, this is the daily average after 3 years of the new year, the Chinese New Year, and what happened? Nothing. It kind of went up 0.5% on average from 2011 to 2019. So nothing really much happened. This is after 7 days. It actually went up 0.3% on average. If we look at it, obviously there's a skew there of 2011. And this is a daily average, 0.6%. So the Chinese New Year should have minimal impact. I just think it's coincidental that it's going down just now. So New Year celebrations aside, a market analyst at the foreign exchange company Oanda tells Bloomberg that BTC is now facing headwinds after a strong start to the new year, while China copes with Wuhan, the epicenter of the viral outbreak that's triggered an unprecedented lockdown on at least 3 cities across the country. I believe that's gone up to 10 cities across the country now, where there's a lockdown. So that might have an impact. That actually might have an impact. Another indicator that could indicate that we're going to go down is February is historically bearish for crypto markets. June and July likely to be a plus, could be the longest plus streak ever. August right around the corner. August typically bad and coincides with the end of streak. And most other cryptos follow BTC. So February is not generally a good month for crypto. Bitcoin is in heavy accumulation just now. This was an interesting article that I'm going to post for you. It's not an article, but it's an interesting report that I'm going to post for you. I've got it up here. I read this this morning. Bitcoin in heavy accumulation. So they expect this to go up, kind of big time basically, in the future. They're expecting to go up, but they say on further down the report there, I know this is going to look bad on camera, so that's why I'm going to link it for you. So as the coins available for selling run out, the market starts rising in a pattern of higher lows, which in the end give up the retail public the confidence to start buying again. So they think here that the price of Bitcoin is going to go down. It's going to trade between 3,000 and 6,500. I don't think it's going to go nowhere near as low as 3,000. 6,500, yeah. But this is what famous trader Jesse Livermore called the accumulation cylinder, in which others have dubbed the wall of worry. We expect to see a similar pattern during the next bull market in Bitcoin. And this is it here, this accumulation cylinder. So it goes up, down, we're getting higher lows, obviously. And this is what's happening. We see in Bitcoin as well. This is where we're getting these higher lows because it's staying true to this long-term support line. So you're always going to get a higher low here as well. And this is kind of what's happening just now if you look at it long term as well. We're in this, just look at it on a weekly. So just a little bit more long term, would say this would be a big, huge, long kind of accumulation cylinder just now. But short term, things we're going to be in an accumulation cylinder, and the price is going to go up just now. So that was this document. I'll kind of put the link for you in this as well, and that was from Tour de Meester. So our new report, Bitcoin and Heavy Accumulation, is out. Read here. So they're from Adamant Capital, and Willoughby have adapted. Both insisted that Bitcoin is currently in heavy accumulation by institutional investors. They each make a convincing case for hedge funds and Bitcoin whales using sell walls to keep Bitcoin's price within an accumulation range of 6,000 to 8,000 to get as much Bitcoin exposure as possible before the halving takes place in May. That's my thoughts on what's happening just now. It's just we are accumulating, but we still have to keep an eye on this Bitcoin price going below kind of the 8,000, but they're saying it's been accumulated between 6,000 and 8,000. So even if it falls to 6,000, then basically not to kind of worry. If it fell to 6,000, I would be kind of concerned. If it fell below the 7,300 line or this long-term support line, I would be concerned. Is that BlockFi readjusts interest yield on Bitcoin and Ether deposits. So on January 23rd, 2020, Winklevoss Twins-backed digital currency platform BlockFi announced that it had revised its rate of interest paid on the yield it generates from lending Bitcoin and Ether. The new rates will be effective from the 1st of May 2020. So as per sources close to the matter, BlockFi's new yields for those lending up to 10 BTC will be 5.1%. At present, customers loaning up to 5 BTC see a yield of 6.2%. Similarly, BlockFi's ETH lenders will experience a rate cut from 4.2% to 3.6% on loans up to 500 ETH. Interestingly, interest yields are set to increase for institutional investors, as BlockFi noted that investors who have BTC balance of 5 or above will enjoy interest yield of 3.2% vis-a-vis current rate of 2.2%. For ETH investors, the rate will jump from current 0.5% to 2%. So they're looking to attract institutional investors. I was looking at this as well. I'm just going to sign in here. Oh, I hate when I do this, man. Sign in. I've not got anything in the BlockFi account. But I was just looking at the kind of rates of interest here. 6.2% for Bitcoin, 4.1% at the moment. It's going to change on the 1st of February. I wonder what's going to change for USDC, but I was looking at the 8.6% per year. So you could start accumulating, or you could change. I was just thinking if you had kind of money sitting in an ISA or something similar to an ISA, which we get over here and it's tax-free, you can get in the UK. I would imagine I'll have something similar in the rest of the world, in Australia, Canada, USA, and other countries as well. They'll have something similar to that. If you've got money in that, you're not really earning any money in that because of the interest rates. But if you changed it and took maybe, I don't know, £20,000 out and changed it into USDC and get 8.6% per year, you would get, if you held it for 5 years, you'd get about £30,000 back for depositing £20,000. And because of compound interest, you get about 33% in total in 5 years. So if you imagine, I'm just going to do this here, I'll put some figures up here. Yeah, if you imagine you're a big institutional investor and all you want to do is give your, I don't know, if you want to give your clients, say 4% per year, which would be really good. You don't think that's really good, but it is actually really good if you're holding a lot of money. If all you want to do is give them 4% per year, you could deposit £5 million or $5 million into BlockFi, for example, in USDC, 8.6% yearly. You're going to get over 5 years, compound intervals daily. And how much would you get on 5 million over 5 years for 8.6%? You would get back in return $7.6 million. So you can see the higher the numbers up, the better. This is why it's going to look attractive, extremely attractive for big institutional investors. So imagine if that was something like 50 million. 50, well, you just put another zero on, obviously. And it's going to be 76 million instead of 50 million. Let's make sure that's right. Yeah, 76 million, just put another zero on. So if you put $50 million in, held it for 5 years, get $76 million back. So that's why it's going to be attractive for big institutional investors as well. Next story, Elon Musk, he sees cryptocurrencies as replacement for cash. So where I see crypto as respectively as a replacement for cash, I do not see crypto being a primary database, he said. I'm going to have to kind of link to the full article. During his podcast interview with ARK Invest, Musk called Bitcoin quite brilliant, while claiming that crypto would be a far better option for transferring value than paper money. However, he took issue with its excessive energy consumption. So that's a big thing he took issue with there, but he does see it as quite brilliant. He's got a different kind of mindset from most people. Ethereum 2.0 Phase 0 ready, Ethereum Foundation researcher. So a few hours before the year in Ethereum 2019 report release, did Derek Loraker, who is working on ETH2 specifications implementations, published a quick development update on the progress towards Ethereum's most exciting milestone of 2020. So he said that now that ETH2 Phase 0 stabilised, there's some big spec extension and usability improvements in the pipeline. The new Phase 1 draft, based on the DevCon cross-shard UX take, is ready. It's not perfect yet, but gets us back on track after all Phase 1 design changes. And we can now continue writing tests for Phase 1 and iterate on the finer details of systems like the custody game. So I think this is, I think I've said all along that we're going to be, Ethereum is going to be huge in 2020. It's really going to gain traction in 2020. In really 5 years' time, I think we're going to see a $5,000 price tag on Ethereum. Probably because of the DeFi space. I'm really liking the look of the DeFi space just now. If you're looking for, I just think I've got it up here. If you want to check out more in the DeFi space, in fact, I'll check it after, see what else is. Bitcoin a safer investment than stocks, real estate, bonds, gold over 4 years. So this is Nick Szabo has tweeted a graph that shows Bitcoin towering over US stocks, US real estate, bonds, gold, oil and emerging currencies in terms of risk-adjusted returns using the Sharpe ratio. Sharpe ratio shows investors' return of an investment compared to its risk. The ratio is the average return earned in excess of the risk-free rate per unit of volatility or total risk. The conclusion from this graph is that although Bitcoin is a volatile asset and thus has a higher risk, its performance outweighs that risk more than traditionally safer assets such as gold and real estate. So this is from Nick Szabo, and somebody posted a question later on saying what happens in a recession. And Nick Szabo, one Twitter user, responded to Szabo asking about the effects of a recession would have on such a graph and how Bitcoin's price would move in such a situation. Szabo's response was poignant as he pointed out that the likes of the US Fed, in charge of federal monetary policy and the overall effect on the economy, would not be able to predict what their own interference would lead to. So I think that's the news. There's another one I liked, Justin Sun. Humbled to have had lunch with Steve Wozniak 3 days ago, the legend. Thanks to Woz and his sage advice to make Tron as successful as Apple one day. So this is Justin Sun and Steve Wozniak. That was quite interesting. And Tom Lee, I don't know why it still goes on. Tom Lee insists 2020 will be good for Bitcoin despite recent pullback. He must have one of the worst records ever. Tom Lee, even though he's in the know. Fundstrat's Tom Lee remains bullish on Bitcoin even after the leading cryptocurrency by market cap plunged by almost 10% in less than a week. According to his latest interview on CNBC's Fast Money, Lee still believes that the halving coupled with the geopolitical factors will drive the price of Bitcoin. So Lee struggles to get Bitcoin right. That's just all the things he's kind of said that's not came true at all. So still in the game, still kind of pushing the Bitcoin price and saying it's still going to go up. I still think it's going to go up as well. And I've probably been just wrong just as many times as Tom Lee as well. It's just he's more vociferous and more kind of in the in the kind of market's eye just now. And I think that is it. Oh, that was another news story. I think that's it for the news as well. And we can go over to your charts in a wee second. I'll just see who else has joined us, if anybody. Kig is in the house this morning. Alchemy integrates with Chainlink. Haven't heard of Alchemy. Mitch Dieter is in as well. Good morning to you. Right, what were the charts she asked me to look at? SHR and RSR. RSR, I'm liking the look of. That's in the DeFi space as well. That could be a good one. So we'll go over to charts. So Sharing, first of all. Sharing are going to be coming out with a couple of announcements. And they've gone down a wee bit. They went down to as low as 25 Satoshi. But they're coming back up again. They're at 31 Satoshi at the moment. So they're coming back up. I expect them long-term SHR to be really good, and just see what's going on with them just now. They've still not got the market cap sorted out on CoinMarketCap. Once they get that sorted out, it'll be better. But volume is still looking good. There's still a lot of interest in Share token as well. And I don't think the website's been updated. Yeah, it was updated, but I don't think the news has been updated. So the website looks really good now, actually. Love the one login. We spoke about that, the one ID as well. They're going to be using that for hotels as well. So really liking the look of this. Don't know the market cap, but I think it's probably down to about 6 million or so. 6 million market cap, something like that. So I think Sharing is going to be good. This is the only travel app you'll ever need. So they've got the new kind of website. Imagine stepping off the plane and knowing everything can be securely booked and managed from your phone. No more juggling, handing over passports, travel documents, or bank cards. So I think this is only the first step. Originally, they were going to kind of do everything. It was a sharing economy by sharing everything, but they're focusing on travel just now, and I think that's the right thing to do that they're doing there. And if you've not seen the interview I did with Tim Boss as well, I highly suggest you kind of go over to that and look at that. You'll find that in the video section. In fact, I'll try and put a link up to here later on. So Sharing is looking good still. It's coming up again. It's up at 31. A couple of announcements probably coming out today. I don't know if they came out yet. Sharing Global. 22 hours. And 23rd of January. So they're starting to come together. So no, it's not there just now. So I think there's a few announcements coming out. So that could be big for them as well. We're going to look at RSR, SR, BTC, and we'll go to CoinMarketCap. So we've crossed over on daily, which is good. They've come off the bottom, put the fundamentals in, and go to horizontal. There's an obvious kind of support there, around about here at 19. They're at 23 just now, so they're coming off the bottom there. I think this represents an amazing opportunity as well. Reserve, right? So if you've not seen that, we'll just go to do a quick, not a quick analysis, but just a quick look at it. RSR, reserve rights. I think it's only 8.1 million just now for the market cap. Now it's kind of low at the moment. Go to the website. So step one for crypto, decentralized currency, reserve rights, RSV, and we've got RSR token as well. Our vision, we believe the future dominant cryptocurrency will be decentralized, dollar independent stablecoin, and will change the economic situation in nations around the world. Think that as well. The reserve protocol mints, sells, buys, and burns RSV as needed to adjust the circulating supply, while RSR holders facilitate necessary arbitrage and provide an additional collateralization buffer as well. So I think this could be big. RSR at the moment, it looks good. It's coming off its bottom just now, or its low of 19. Just now it's all-time low. It's crossed over on the daily, which looks good as well. It's coming out of a descending triangle, so it's breaking out there. If we can look at that, so just have a, oh, that's not, we'll just try this. Probably, no, we've got the spike here, so that doesn't, so I don't know what happened there. It went up to 45, it spiked, so that kind of pushes that descending triangle out of the water. But if we're to go below that and look at, you'd see it's pushing out of a descending triangle there. So it's looking good for RSR just now. We've got a high of around about 45, we can see there as well, the spike up to 45. That was the previous high back in May 2019. So I think we've a way to go for that. It's only 8.1 million for RSR as well, so I think it could be a good one. Keg, thank you very much for the donation, really appreciate it, mate. What do you think about Player, really like Player? Player BTC, and we'll go to fundamental. Ooh, what's happened to Player? Oh, 1 Satoshi, so we need to go to ETH. It's not looking good at the moment. So whatever's happened with Player just now, it did go down to 17 Gwei, whatever it is, and then back up again. So, so I'd need to look at that. I did really like the look of that previously, but I don't know now if anything's happened. It seems a bit volatile. So just go to CoinMarketCap and see if anything's. So obviously Player in the gaming sector. $1 million. So it's kind of come down. Why has it come down? January 14th, beta. So I've not looked at it for a few months now probably, but I did like the look of that. It did get up to about 4 million, 4.5 million. And that was back in April. I think we were probably checking it out around about here. There's 1.5 million, so it's not really changed that much. It just seems to have come down. I don't know why there's a big drop there to 500,000. So I need to look into it again to see what's happening, but I did like that for the future in the gaming sector. I think the gaming sector is going to be huge in 2020 as well. Barbara Taylor is in. Good morning, Steve and Crypto Family. Temporary X out of the live chat and smash the like. As number 8, he needs more, just takes a second, guys, he deserves it. Oh, thanks very much, Barbara, really appreciate that. Crypto Dread saying smashed, thank you very much for that as well. Yep, still here after all those. I think I've been here for 2 years now, coming up for 2 years. I've had this channel. Is it 2 years or 1 year? A full year, I can't remember. When I started the channel, actually, I need to kind of look back at the very first video. The very first video would have been terrible. I bet I was predicting that kind of Neil was going to go at about $2,000 or something. Barbara Taylor, thumbs up, thank you very much. Okay, I'm going to leave you there just now. I hope you have a brilliant weekend. Whatever you're doing, and really appreciate you being here today, but hopefully you have a brilliant weekend. Last one out, hit the likes, and until Monday, namaste. Take care, bye now.